500,000 years had passed since humans mysteriously vanished from Earth. The planet, once vibrant with life, now lay quiet and covered in strange plants and ruins. Many aliens from the Zalari Empire believed that Earth was just a forgotten, lifeless world. They came to explore, hoping to find something interesting in the vast emptiness of space. The Zalari Empire was known for its advanced technology and strong military. Their sleek ships glided through the stars, and they were eager to learn about other worlds. Captain Zorak, a brave leader with sharp instincts, commanded the exploration team. As their ship approached Earth, the crew buzzed with excitement and curiosity. "Prepare for landing," Captain Zorak ordered. The crew worked quickly, following his commands. As they touched down, the ship trembled slightly. The Zalari looked out the windows, expecting to see nothing but dirt and rocks. But what they saw surprised them. Green plants and ancient structures peeking through the foliage. "Look at those buildings!" one crew member exclaimed, pointing at a crumbling structure in the distance. They looked like they were made by intelligent beings. Captain Zorak nodded, his interest growing. "We should explore," he said. "There may be hidden treasures here." The crew stepped outside, their boots crunching on the soft earth. The air was filled with the scent of damp soil and strange flowers. They moved cautiously, scanning their surroundings with advanced sensors. They could feel the history of the place, but it was covered in layers of mystery. As they ventured deeper into the overgrown ruins, they stumbled upon an entrance to a dark cave. The mouth of the cave was hidden behind thick vines and colorful flowers. It looked ancient and inviting, but also a little scary. Zorak felt a thrill of excitement mixed with fear. "This could lead to something important," he said. "Let's go inside." The crew entered the cave, their hearts racing. Inside, it was cool and dark, and the walls glimmered with strange crystals that reflected their lights. The further they walked, the more they felt like they were stepping back in time. Suddenly, they saw outlines of large objects in the darkness. "What are those?" another crew member whispered. They moved closer, and as their lights illuminated the space, they gasped in awe. It was a fleet of ancient human warships, covered in dust but still impressive in size and design. "These are incredible," Zorak exclaimed, his voice echoing in the cave. "We have to learn more about them." As they explored the massive ships, they found control panels and old technology still intact after all these years. The ships were equipped with weapons and defenses far beyond anything the Zalari had seen before. "This technology is advanced," Zorak noted. "It looks like it hasn't been used in ages. We must wake them up." But as excitement filled the air, caution crept into the hearts of the crew. They knew little about these ships or the humans who had built them. "What if they wake up and see us as enemies?" one crew member worried. Zorak paused, considering the risks. "We have to take that chance. If these ships were once human, they might hold secrets about their disappearance. We cannot leave without knowing the truth." The crew began to work on the ships, trying to revive the dormant systems. They pressed buttons and flipped switches, hoping for a response. Slowly, the ships began to hum with life, lights flickering on as ancient technology came to life after centuries of silence. But as they celebrated their success, alarms suddenly blared. Red lights flashed throughout the cave, and the ship's defense systems powered up. "Warning! Intruders detected!" A mechanical voice echoed, causing the Zalari to freeze in fear. Zorak shouted, "Everyone take cover! We need to figure out how to stop this." The crew scattered, unsure of what to do. They realized they had awakened something far more powerful than they had anticipated. As the ships stirred from their slumber, they posed a new threat to the curious aliens who had dared to disturb their resting place. The Zalari were now trapped between their thirst for knowledge and the dangers of the unknown. Little did they know that their journey had just begun, and Earth still held many secrets waiting to be uncovered. Inside the dark cave, the Zalari crew was in chaos. Alarms blared loudly, echoing off the ancient walls. Bright red lights flashed, casting eerie shadows on the massive human warships that surrounded them. Captain Zorak felt a surge of fear and excitement. They had awakened something powerful, and now they had to face the consequences. "Everyone regroup!" Zorak shouted, trying to keep his voice steady. The crew quickly came together, their faces pale with shock. The control panels of the ships were flickering to life, and the defense systems were preparing for action. "What should we do?" one crew member, Kira, asked nervously. "They might think we are attacking them," Zorak thought quickly. "We need to calm the systems down. If we can show we mean no harm, maybe we can stop them. He motioned for the crew to follow him to the nearest ship. As they approached, they could see the impressive design of the warship. It was like nothing they had ever encountered before. Zorak pressed his hand on a panel that was still glowing faintly. "Let's try to communicate with it. Maybe it can understand us." The crew watched in anticipation as he input commands, hoping for a response. Suddenly, the ship's lights pulsed in a steady rhythm, and a calm voice filled the cave. "Intruders detected. Stand down. Identify yourselves." The crew looked at each other, surprised. The ship had a voice. Zorak cleared his throat, his heart pounding. "We are the Zalari Empire, explorers from the stars. We mean no harm. We are here to learn." "Learning is permitted," the ship replied, "but you must disable the defense protocols. Failure to comply will result in activation of countermeasures." Zorak nodded, feeling a mix of relief and urgency. "How do we disable them?" "Input command code 0459. Initiating safety protocols." With shaky hands, Zorak entered the code into the panel. The alarms stopped blaring and the lights returned to a soft blue glow. A wave of relief washed over the crew. They had successfully calmed the warship, but they knew their troubles were far from over. As they caught their breath, Kira spoke up. "What happens now? Can we wake up the other ships?" Zorak looked around at the impressive fleet surrounding them. "Yes, but we must be careful. Each ship has its own systems and defenses. We can't rush this." The crew spread out, approaching other ships cautiously. Each one had its own unique design, showcasing the creativity of humanity. They looked ancient yet powerful, a testament to a civilization that once thrived. One by one, they input the command codes, carefully monitoring the reactions of each ship. Some awakened with ease, their systems powering up smoothly. Others were more stubborn, requiring time and patience. As they worked, the Zalari crew couldn't help but feel a growing respect for the humans who had built these incredible machines. They marveled at the craftsmanship and the technology that had stood the test of time. Hours passed as they focused on waking the giants, each success bringing a mix of thrill and apprehension. Finally, Zorak gathered the crew again. "We've awakened most of the fleet, but now we need to know what they are capable of. We must learn how to control them." Kira raised an eyebrow. "What if they don't want to be controlled? They might see us as intruders." Zorak nodded, knowing the truth in her words. "You're right. We need to approach this carefully. We must establish a connection with the ships. They were once operated by humans, and we need to understand their history." With determination, the crew began to explore the ships further. They searched for logs and data, hoping to find information about the humans who had created these giants. As they delved deeper, they discovered a wealth of knowledge, from battle strategies to everyday life. The more they learned, the more they felt a connection to the long-lost humans. They began to see the fleet not just as machines, but as a part of a rich history. However, as they pieced together the story of humanity, they also sensed a lurking danger. The ships, once proud defenders of Earth, held deep scars from battles fought long ago. The Zalari were now caught in a web of history, facing the giants they had awakened. With each new discovery, the tension grew. The Zalari crew had to tread carefully, for they were not just exploring a forgotten world, they were standing at the edge of a new beginning. As the ancient machines hummed around them, they knew that the fate of both races hung in the balance. As the Zalari crew continued to explore the ancient fleet of human warships, they were filled with wonder and curiosity. Each ship held secrets waiting to be uncovered, and the crew knew they had stumbled upon a treasure trove of knowledge about the long-lost civilization of Earth. Captain Zorak gathered everyone in the main ship, which they had named the Elysium. The crew sat in a circle, excitement buzzing in the air. "Today we will learn more about the humans who built these ships," he announced. "This is important for our mission." Kira, eager to start, asked, "What do we know about them so far?" "We've seen their technology, but we need to understand their history, culture, and what made them strong," Zorak replied. "Let's begin by accessing the ship's databases." The crew worked together, navigating through the databanks on the warships. They found documents, recordings, and images that painted a picture of humanity. Some files were corrupted or incomplete, but they revealed enough for the Zalari to grasp the essence of human life. The first files they opened contained stories about human struggles and achievements. The Zalari read about their wars, inventions, and exploration of space. Zorak was amazed at how humans had always pushed their limits, seeking to discover the unknown. "Look at this," Kira exclaimed, pointing to a video recording of humans launching a rocket into space. The crew watched in awe as the massive machine roared to life, flames erupting from its base. The humans cheered and celebrated as they ventured into the stars. "This is incredible," Zorak said, captivated. They were not afraid of challenges. They faced fear head-on. As they continued their research, they found records of human emotions and relationships. The crew learned about love, friendship, and sacrifice. They discovered how humans fought for their families and communities. They cared deeply for one another, Kira noted, her voice filled with admiration. "This makes them even more interesting." Zorak nodded. Yes, they were complex beings. They had flaws, but their determination and spirit were unmatched. The crew then stumbled upon documents detailing the war that led to humanity's disappearance. Zorak's heart sank as he read about the conflicts that had torn Earth apart. They faced great challenges, and it seems they fell victim to their own creations, he said sadly. Their technology, while advanced, ultimately led to their downfall. The atmosphere in the room grew somber. Kira spoke softly. "Maybe that's why they built these ships. They wanted a way to protect themselves, but it wasn't enough." Zorak thought for a moment, then said, "We need to ensure that we do not repeat their mistakes. We have the chance to learn from their history." Encouraged, the crew pressed on, learning about human values such as courage, innovation, and the pursuit of knowledge. They discovered stories of heroes who had risen to defend their world in times of great peril. Each tale inspired them further, igniting a desire to honor the legacy of humanity. As they pieced together more of the past, the crew felt a deep connection to the humans they had never known. They had awakened the fleet, but they were also awakening the spirit of humanity within themselves. Suddenly, an alert sounded from the ship's control panel. "New data available." "Incoming transmission from the fleet," the voice announced. Everyone turned to the screen, their eyes wide with anticipation. Zorak quickly activated the display. A holographic image flickered to life, showing an ancient human commander standing in front of a ship. He appeared strong and proud, wearing a uniform that shimmered in the light. "Attention, potential allies," the hologram spoke. "If you are receiving this message, it means you have awakened our fleet. We are the guardians of Earth, and we seek to protect it from threats. Our mission is to ensure that our legacy is not forgotten." The crew exchanged excited glances. Zorak felt a surge of hope. "This is our chance to connect with humanity's spirit and gain their wisdom." The hologram continued. "We trust you to honor our fight against ignorance and tyranny. Use our ships wisely, and may the strength of humanity guide you." As the transmission ended, the room erupted in cheers. The Zalari crew was not just exploring a forgotten world. They were stepping into a new chapter of history. They had learned about humans, their struggles, and their dreams. Zorak smiled at his crew, filled with determination. "We will not let their legacy fade. We will learn from their mistakes and carry their spirit into the stars." With a new mission ahead, the crew prepared to honor the memory of the humans who had vanished long ago. They would become the stewards of their legacy and guardians of Earth, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Zalari crew was buzzing with excitement and determination as they prepared for the showdown. They had awakened the ancient fleet and learned about humanity's rich history, but now they faced a new challenge. A dark shadow loomed over their mission, a rival alien faction known as the Grathok, who sought to seize the human warships for their own destructive purposes. Captain Zorak stood on the bridge of the Elysium, staring out at the fleet of warships. Each vessel hummed with power, ready for action. The crew had trained hard, and their confidence grew with each passing hour. They knew they had to protect the legacy of humanity, no matter the cost. "Captain," Kira said, breaking the tense silence, "the Grathok ships are approaching fast. We don't have much time." Zorak nodded, his mind racing. "We need to prepare the fleet for battle. Everyone to your stations!" His voice was strong, and the crew jumped into action. They each took their positions, ready to defend what they had awakened. As the Grathok ships entered the system, the Zalari crew quickly scanned their enemy. The Grathok vessels were menacing, armed with powerful weapons and bristling with technology designed for destruction. Zorak felt a chill run down his spine. They had to act fast. "Divert power to the shields!" Zorak commanded, and Kira swiftly followed the order. The crew was focused, working like a well-oiled machine. They had trained for this moment, and now it was time to put their skills to the test. Suddenly, the Grathok fleet sent a message, demanding the surrender of the Zalari. The holographic image of a Grathok commander flickered on the screen, his sharp features twisted into a sneer. "You are outnumbered and outmatched. Hand over the ships, and we may spare your lives." Zorak's heart raced. He knew the Grathok would not hesitate to destroy them. "We will never surrender!" he shouted back, his voice echoing in the bridge. "These ships belong to humanity, and we will defend their legacy." With that, the Grathok ships opened fire. Bright beams of energy shot towards the Elysium. Zorak shouted, "Evasive maneuvers! Turn left!" The ship swerved, narrowly dodging the blasts. The crew worked in perfect harmony, responding to his every command. The battle had begun. Zorak's heart pounded as he watched the chaos unfold on the view screen. Grathok ships were attacking from all directions, firing their weapons at the human warships. But the Zalari crew was ready. They activated the warship's defense systems, and brilliant beams of energy shot back at the Grathok fleet. "Fire back!" Kira yelled, her fingers dancing over the control panel. The crew unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, hitting several Grathok ships directly. They exploded in bursts of fire and debris, lighting up the dark space around them. Despite their successes, Zorak knew they were still outnumbered. "We need to regroup and form a defensive line around the flagship," he ordered. The crew responded, maneuvering their ships to protect the Elysium. Suddenly, the bridge shook violently as a Grathok ship collided with one of the warships in the fleet. The impact sent debris flying and alarms blared. Zorak's heart sank as he realized they were taking heavy damage. "We have to hold on," he shouted. "Remember, we fight for humanity." His words ignited a fierce determination among the crew. They fought harder, pouring everything they had into the battle. As the fight raged on, Kira noticed something on her screen. "Captain, there's a weak point in their formation. If we can break through, we might turn the tide." Zorak looked at the data, his eyes narrowing. "Let's do it! All ships, focus your fire on that point." The crew followed his command, unleashing a coordinated assault on the Grathok's weak spot. The tactic worked. Their energy blasts found their mark, and the Grathok's formation began to break apart. Zorak felt a surge of hope. "Keep pushing! We can win this!" With renewed strength, the Zalari crew pressed forward. They fought bravely, each member of the crew doing their part. The air was filled with the sounds of explosions and the cries of victory as the tide began to turn. Finally, as the last of the Grathok ships fell, the Zalari crew erupted in cheers. They had fought for humanity's legacy and won. Zorak felt a wave of relief wash over him. They had protected the fleet and the memory of the humans who had once roamed the stars. As the stars shone brightly around them, Zorak turned to his crew. "We did it! We honored humanity today and proved that their spirit lives on within us." The crew celebrated their victory, united in their purpose. They had awakened the giants, learned from humanity's past, and defended their legacy. As they looked out at the fleet of human warships, they knew this was just the beginning of their journey. They would continue to protect and honor the memory of those who had come before them, ready to face whatever challenges awaited in the stars. The battle against the Grathok was over, but the atmosphere aboard the Elysium buzzed with energy and hope. The Zalari crew had emerged victorious, defending the ancient human fleet and securing their legacy in the galaxy. Now, as they drifted through the vastness of space, they faced a new challenge: what to do next. Captain Zorak gathered the crew in the main chamber, where the shimmering screens displayed the stars twinkling like diamonds. The remnants of the Grathok fleet floated in the distance, a reminder of the fierce battle they had fought. "We have much to discuss," he began, his voice steady and filled with determination. "Today, we not only defended our ship, but also the spirit of humanity." Kira, filled with excitement, raised her hand. "What's our next step, Captain? We can't just sit here. There's so much to explore." Zorak smiled at her enthusiasm. "You're right, Kira. We need to decide how to use our new fleet and what our mission will be moving forward. We have a chance to honor humanity by continuing their legacy of exploration and discovery." The crew erupted in cheers at the idea. They felt invigorated, ready to take on the universe. Zorak continued, "I propose we form a coalition with other peaceful species we may encounter. Together, we can protect the memory of humanity and ensure that their mistakes are not repeated." As discussions flowed, ideas bounced around the room. The crew debated the potential challenges they might face in this new journey. They spoke of finding new worlds, meeting new species, and sharing the wisdom they had gained from humanity's history. After hours of discussion, Zorak called for a vote on their new mission. All those in favor of becoming protectors of peace and explorers of the galaxy, raise your hands. Every hand shot up. The room erupted with cheers, and Kira shouted, "We will honor humanity by showing the galaxy what it means to be brave and compassionate." With a clear mission in mind, the crew prepared to set their course. Zorak felt a sense of pride as he watched his crew work together. They were not just a team, they had become a family united by a shared purpose. As the Elysium moved gracefully through space, Kira took her station at the helm. "Captain, I've picked up a distress signal from a nearby planet," she reported, her fingers dancing over the controls. "It sounds like they're in trouble." Zorak leaned closer to the screen, excitement and concern battling within him. "What do you see?" The display showed a lush, green world with a large city under siege. Ships circled above, firing down on the planet. "It looks like the planet is under attack." "We have to help them," Kira urged. Zorak felt a surge of determination. "Prepare to engage. We will not let another planet fall into chaos. Activate the fleet's weapons and shields. We'll show them what the legacy of humanity stands for." The crew sprang into action, excitement coursing through them. They had learned from the past, and now they were ready to protect those in need. The Elysium and the rest of the fleet moved swiftly towards the planet. As they entered the atmosphere, Zorak's heart raced. "Kira, can you get us a tactical scan of the area?" "On it, Captain," she replied. The display filled with information, highlighting enemy ships and the areas of distress. Zorak quickly formulated a plan. "We'll split into two groups. One will draw the fire of the attackers while the other assists the people on the ground. We need to make sure the civilians are safe." The crew nodded, filled with purpose. They had come together, learning from humanity's spirit, and now they were ready to make a difference. As they descended toward the city, Zorak couldn't help but feel a deep connection to the humans they had learned about. They had faced challenges head-on, and now it was their turn to carry that legacy forward. When they landed, the crew quickly evacuated civilians to safety, using the ancient technology of the human ships. Zorak led the charge, helping those in need and directing the Zalari fighters against the attackers. The battle was intense, but the Zalari fought bravely. They worked as a team, using tactics they had learned from the ancient human records. The enemy was caught off guard by their skill and determination. After a fierce struggle, the attackers began to retreat, and the city was saved. Cheers erupted from the civilians as they thanked the crew for their bravery. Zorak smiled, feeling the weight of humanity's legacy resting upon him. "We did it!" Kira exclaimed, her face beaming with pride. Zorak nodded, his heart swelling with hope. "This is only the beginning. We have taken the first steps to honor humanity's memory. We will continue to protect and explore, ensuring that their spirit lives on." As they stood together on the planet's surface, gazing at the stars above, they knew that a new chapter awaited them. They were no longer just explorers, they were guardians of peace, ready to face whatever the universe had in store. Together, they would carry humanity's legacy into the stars.